My name is Melvise from Written Words Publishing. I am a publisher, a ghostwriter, an editor, and I'm also an author. And I will be reading and revising chapter 2 of my book today. I'll be here every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So I invite you all to join me. Join me for the ride as I read and revise my book, which has been published many years ago, but will be republished, the revised edition, better than ever. And yes, so here we go. Chapter 2, Such is Life, the next morning. A serene sensation came over Kat as she turned from her side to her back, reaching over to put her arm around Dre, only to find he was not lying beside her. Yes, so I've already gone through this book, just FYI, and marked it up. You see all those. It's just marked up as horrible. And right here, there's a comma missing. So that comma will be added. Okay. A serene sensation came over Kat as she turned from her side to her back, reaching over to put her arm around Dre, comma, only to find he was not lying beside her. She suddenly came to the realization that it was Monday morning. Gee whiz, sighed Kat. Uh, yeah, so I mentioned in my previous video one of the issues with this book is overuse of the character names. So I would change that to Gee whiz, she sighed. Gee whiz, she sighed. She leaped out of bed and threw on her robe, rushing to wake up the children. Ayana, wake up, honey. Kat gently shook her daughter. Yeah, that's another spot. I don't need Kat there. Let me fix this. Gently shaking her daughter, she said, Ayana, wake up, honey. I think that's how I'm going to revise it. So we want to try to eliminate ing also. Let's see. Gee whiz, she sighed. She leaped out of bed and threw on her robe, rushing to wake up the children. Ayana, wake up, honey. She gently shook her. Yeah, she gently shook her. That would be good. We don't even need her daughter. Ayana, wake up, honey. She gently shook her. No, mommy. I don't want to go to school today. Here's another error right here. No, mommy. Period. I don't want to go to school today. There's a comma there. It should be a period. Come on, pretty girl. We're running late this morning. I need you to get up. She managed to get Ayana to sit on, yeah. She managed to get Ayana to sit on the side of her bed while Kat pulls her clothes out of the drawers. In a frantic voice, she begged, hurry up and get dressed, please, pretty girl. We need to leave as fast as we can. Ayana yawned. Okay, mommy. Rushing to wake up the twins, she tripped over a skateboard in the hallway, stubbing her pinky toe. Ouch! She exclaimed as she thrust open the boys' bedroom door. You two get up. Hurry. Hurry up. Okay, let me give y'all another writing tip here. Here's a writing tip. Exclamation points. Yes, I took a class once with a best-selling author who gave us the tip that you should only have no more than 2, 3 tops exclamation points throughout your whole entire book. Did you know that? If you wrote, ouch, she exclaimed, you wouldn't put ouch exclamation point and then write she exclaimed, because we already know, she exclaimed is an exclamation point. I'm looking at this right here and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exclamation points just on this one page alone. That is horrible. But I did not know then what I know now, so we are going to fix that, okay? So, out she exclaimed as she thrust open the boys' bedroom door. You two get up. Hurry up. You've already missed your school bus. We have 10 minutes to get you out the door. So in that dialogue there were 2 exclamation points. So we would say, let's see. Out she exclaimed as she thrust open the boys' bedroom door. You two get up. Hurry up. You already missed your school bus. We have 10 minutes to get out the door. She demanded. Let's say she demanded. You two, let's do it like this. You two get up. Hurry up. You two get up. She demanded. Hurry up. You've already missed your bus. We have 10 minutes to get out the door. One of the boys threw a pillow at her when she turned on their bedroom light. Andrew, are you crazy? Don't throw things at me. Get your behind up out of that bed. The other twin called out, He's not Andrew, I'm Andrew. We switched beds last night. Pointing the figure at Aaron, Catfuss. 14 years and you're still trying to pull that I'm not him, he's not me trick on me. It may work with your teachers and your little girlfriends, but it will never work on me. I know full well who you are. I was in labor for over 20 hours. It took me over an hour to push your big head out and another 25 minutes to push out your brother's noggin. It took me more. Back that up. Okay. It took me over an hour to push your big head out, mimic Aaron. Andrew followed suit, and another 25 minutes to push out your brother's noggin. Stop playing with me. We don't have time for that this morning. Get your butt out of the bed now. There's an exclamation point right there, which is unnecessary. We already know if you're a mother and you got some boys like me, I have 4 boys. It's time to get up and go to school. We running late. Ain't nobody saying nothing sweet and quiet. Get up, get out the bed right now. Get dressed. Go wash your face. Go brush your teeth. Get your books. Get your clothes. Let's go. Let's go. Meet me at the door in 5 minutes. So we don't need the exclamation point because we already know she's running late. The kids don't miss the school bus. She's waking them up and they messing around with her, talking back. Ain't no sweet talking going on here. So stop playing with me. We don't have time for that this morning. Get your butt out of the bed. Ma, did you forget that we don't have the same teachers this year? Asked Aaron. Yeah, Mom, we're not even in the same school. Dina's live, Andrew shouted. Okay, so it says Dina's live exclamation point. Andrew shouted. He shouted. We don't need an exclamation point there. We wrote he shouted. So what is the exclamation point there for? Delete that. I'm telling you, if you are an author and you wrote a manuscript and you have dialogue and there's a whole lot of exclamation points, remove them. They are unnecessary. They do not belong. You can make sure that, like in this instance, yeah, Ma, we're not even in the same school. Dina's live, Andrew shouted, the Dina High School battle cry. He shouted. So what's the exclamation point? You don't need it. Lala's pride, Aaron hailed the Lala Evans Academy of Achievement. Dina High over here, Andrew shouted louder. Leaa over here, Aaron stood on his bed and saluted his mother. See, Lala's proud. There was an exclamation point. Get rid of that. Dina High over here. Andrew shouted louder. There was an exclamation point. Get rid of that. Leaa over here. Aaron stood on his bed and saluted his mother. I mean, we know they shouting. If you go to a college or a high school and there's a battle cry for the school for the team, who says it nice? Everybody shouts. So no exclamation points needed there. Cat pop Aaron on his behind. Get your butt down off of that bed and get dressed. We're late. There's another exclamation point. We want to delete that too because we don't need it. She stormed out of their room mumbling, Lord only knows what we were doing the night we created those two. Let me tell y'all, sometimes I'll be thinking the same thing about my boys. Like, what was me and my ex-husband doing the night we created that one? And then that one, and that one, and that one too. I'll take that back. My boys are good. I know what we was doing that night. We was having, I ain't gonna say it. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me clear my head. At 38 years of age, Kat was a wife, mother, and full-time employee of Jones, Evans and Knight, LLP. It was the perfect work environment, but she worked for the most arrogant attorney in town, which was a headache for her the majority of the time. There's a comma missing right there. At 38 years of age, Kat was a wife, mother, and full-time employee of Jones, Evans and Knight, LLP. It was the perfect work environment, but she worked for the most arrogant attorney in town, which was a headache for her the majority of the time. I don't like that. I don't like that. Which was a headache for her the majority of the time. Which was, I think, which was a headache the majority of the time. We know that we're talking about Kat. We don't need the for her there, so let's take that out. Which was a headache the majority of the time. She needed every minute of her usual 7 hours of sleep. She should have known better than to hang around at the dinner too late. Oversleeping caused Kat to cut corners on her morning ritual, washing up quickly instead of taking her usual relaxing 20-minute early morning shower. There was no time to heat up the hot comb either, much less press her edges. She grabbed the first thing she laid her hands on out of the closet and threw a wig on her head. When Kat went back to Ayana's room, she found Pretty Girl curled up in her full-size bed wrapped in one of her toddler Elmo blankets. Most children grow out of preschool characters, but no, not Pretty Girl. 11 years old and she still had Elmo painted on her bedroom walls. The dresses and closet doors were covered in stencils and his jolly face was embedded in the area rug. That girl would still wear her Elmo pajamas if Kat had not accidentally spilled half a bottle of bleach on them 2 years ago. It burned. So it says it had burned a hole straight through, but we don't need had, so we're going to take had out. It burned a hole. So when you put ed on the end of the word, that makes the word past tense. Had means it happened already. Ed means it happened already. So you don't need had burned. We know it burned. We don't need had. Take had out. That's another one of those words that is, I gave the list in my last live of words that are unnecessary. Just, really, that, had, there's another one. There's a few more. Very, yeah, most of the time those words are unnecessary. So if you use words, or if your program, whatever program you typed your manuscript on, if it has a search and replace feature, search those words and then delete them if they're unnecessary, because most of the time they're unnecessary. So it burned a hole straight through Elmo's giant smile. Ayana was devastated for a month, but at least Kat no longer had to fuss with her about squeezing into pajamas that were 3 sizes too small. What are you still doing in the bed? It's time to go. She rushed over to Ayana's bed and pulled Elmo off of her. No, mommy, stop, she whined, turning her back to her mother. I don't have to go to school. When Daddy came to kiss me goodbye this morning, he told me I could stay home. I'm not going to school. There should be a comma after morning here. Kat was aggravated, but she remained calm. Ayana, you cannot stay home. Mommy has to work and your brothers are going to school. You can't stay home alone. Now get dressed so I can comb your hair. We have to go. A loud bang out of the boys' room reminded Kat that today would be no different than any other day. She rushed to their room to break up the fight. Aaron claimed that Andrew was wearing his pants and sneakers. This was a typical morning argument. Here we go again. But Kat did not have time to straighten it out. Mm, I would say, I would say their mother instead of calling her Kat right there. I don't want to use she and her um, too often. We want to avoid it whenever we can. So let's change that to their mother. A loud bang out of the boys' room reminded Kat that today would be no different than any other day. She rushed to their room to break up the fight. Aaron claimed that Andrew was wearing his pants and sneakers. This was a typical morning argument, but their mother did not have time to straighten it out. She yelled at both of them, I don't care who's wearing what. Have your behind in the car in 2 minutes or else. Exclamation point. We're going to delete that one too because she yelled at them. But don't need the exclamation point. If you put she yelled, then what's the exclamation point for? We already know she yelled. Okay? So, Lord, please help me, she silently prayed. En route to the children's schools, one thought plagued her mind like that overflowing toilet she dealt with last week. She could not figure out why on earth Dre told Ayana she could stay home. When she arrived at each of the schools drop off, yep, another comma missing. Lord Jesus. Okay. When she arrived at each of the schools drop off, she quickly rushed the kids out of the car. Aaron hurried out without kissing his mother. Andrew blew her a kiss, and to Kat's surprise, Ayana reached over the seat and gave her mother a big kiss. Let's see. Kiss, kiss, kiss. So another thing I brought up in my previous video, you want to eliminate overuse. You don't want to use the same word multiple times in the same sentence or the same paragraph or the same page if you can avoid it. So I'm going to change that. So Aaron hurried out without, I would say, let's change it to Aaron hurried out without acknowledging his mother. How about that? Yeah, acknowledging. I don't know. I might change that when I actually edit the, the document. Um, let's see. Aaron hurried out without acknowledging his mother. Andrew blew a kiss, blew her a kiss. Andrew. Mm, I would say Andrew blew a kiss to her. Andrew blew her a kiss. I don't know. I guess we could leave that. And to Kat's surprise, Ayana reached over the seat and gave her mother a big, let's say, a big hug instead of a kiss. Big hug. There we go. Now that takes kiss out of there, and we only got kiss there once now instead of 3 times. Thanks, pretty girl. Mommy needed that. Cat smiled. She had already, so it says cat again, but we're going to change that to she. She had already reached a high level of stress, and it was only 9 a.m. Nope, I don't like that sentence either. She had already reached a high level of stress. I don't like that. It's a different way to say that. So let me think. I'm going to have to change that too. So I'm just going to highlight it for now. I have to go back and change that. She had already reached a high level of stress, and it was only 9 a.m. No, okay. So her stress level was already elevated, and it was only 9 a.m. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, here go another writing tip for y'all. So I have paper sitting here, a piece of paper I could have easily scribbled that sentence down on before I decided I wanted to put it on a note paper and stick it in here so I can come back because there's not enough room on the page to rewrite the sentence, handwrite it on the page, right? Great sentence, right? Ask me ask me how I reworded that sentence. Matter of fact, if you're watching here, if you're watching and you heard me say how I wanted to rewrite, she had already reached a high level of stress and it was only 9 a.m. If you heard my rewrite for that sentence, could you please type it in the chat? Because now I don't remember what I was going to write. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are working on a story, fiction, nonfiction, book, whatever you're working on, if you think about something, even if it's just a few words and if it's just one sentence, and it comes to your mind, write it down, leave yourself a voice recording, send yourself an email, do whatever you have to do to capture those words at that minute when you first think about it. Because it doesn't matter how good it is, by the time you get in front of your manuscript, in front of your computer, in front of a piece of paper, poof, it's gone. Any other writers out there who can testify, who can what's the word I'm looking for? Validate what I just said. You agree with me? You think about it, and it's also good. And then by the time you get ready to write it down, you can't remember what you were thinking about. So now I gotta rethink how I was gonna reword that sentence. I don't see anybody in the chat reminding me what I said or what I thought. She had already reached a high level of stress and it was only 9 a.m. Oh, dang. Her stress level was already elevated and it was only 9 a.m. I'll just put it like that. I could have swore I thought of something just a little better than that, but I didn't write it down. A stress level. Did anybody hear what I said? Oh wait, you know what? All I gotta do is watch the video and then I'll hear what I said. Oh, okay. That was already. Stress level was already elevated. It was only. Okay, I'll go back and watch the replay. And then I'll know exactly what I said. Okay, that's fine. Driving to work, she meditated to reach a content level of peace. Today will be different. I will not let negative things ruin my day. Today will be different. I will not let negative things ruin my day, she repeated. Kat checked her appearance in the elevator door. With a quick glance at her blouse, She noticed the tug of war in her bust line. She dug a safety pin out of her bag to pin the gap closed. If she had not been in such a hurry, she would have noticed when she hastily pulled that orange blouse from the never wear this again side of the closet. When the elevator doors opened, she said a silent prayer. Comma was missing there. When the elevator doors opened, comma. Lord, you know what awaits me when I step out of the elevator. I'm going to say when I step off the elevator. When I step off the elevator instead of out of. So please show me mercy and help me make it through this day. Good morning, Kat. Good morning, Mary, she greeted the receptionist. Yeah, it says Cat greeted, but we don't need Cat right there again. We can change that to she. How was your weekend? Same as usual, nothing exciting. The fundraising dinner last night was nice though. I didn't see you there. I know I purchased a ticket but decided not to go at the last minute. I was tired. I know what you mean. Running errands all weekend, I was tired too. But at least I had a good time last night, Kat said. Has Sir Knight arrived yet? Yes, responded Mary. Great. The one day I arrived 45 minutes late, he decides to come in early. Okay. She already asked if she arrived, so I'm going to change that. The one day I get here, 45. I'm going to say the one day I get here. Yep, let's change it to that. Great. The one day I get here 45 minutes late, he decides to come in early. Kat thought out loud with her eyes stretched wide, bobbing her head from side to side. Yeah, and he's already starting to get on my nerves. It's almost like he has a fetish for trashing everything we do around here. I like living in Morgantown, but I'm willing to give up my condo at Bly Towers if it means I won't have to put up with his repugnant behavior first thing every morning. I don't know how you deal with him. Believe me, I don't know. Believe me, I know how you feel. But don't let him spoil your day. Try to ignore him and remember you are not the cause of whatever is bothering him. I'll try, agreed Mary. I'm gonna take out agreed Mary and just leave it at I'll try. Kat headed toward her desk, hoping Earl would not bombard her with his domineering attitude this morning. She felt her pressure rise when she saw a blue sticky on her computer screen listing her duties for the day. Making note of the expected turnaround time on a few of the large documents, taking a deep breath, Kat plunged herself into her work. Let's see, I'm going to say she plunged herself. I'm going to say she plunged into her work. We could take out herself. Failing to acknowledge Trisha's greeting. Okay, let me read that again. Kat headed toward her desk, hoping Earl would not bombard her with his domineering attitude this morning. She felt her pressure rise when she saw a blue sticky on her computer screen listing her duties for the day. Yeah, I don't like that either. I'm glad I read that over. We're going to say her pressure rose when she saw. Yes, her pressure rose. Her pressure rose. I wonder, do I need to say blood pressure or can we just say pressure? If you read her pressure, I mean, anytime somebody says pressure, you know they're talking about their blood pressure, right? You don't have to say blood pressure. My pressure is high today. Nobody says my blood pressure is high. They just say my pressure. So I don't even think we need to add blood. So we'll just say her pressure rose. Her pressure rose when her pressure arose. Dang, what's the right way to say that? Her pressure rose when she saw a blue sticky on her computer screen listing her duties for the day. Making note of the expected turnaround time on a few of the large documents, taking a deep breath, she plunged into her work, failing to acknowledge Trisha's greeting. No sooner had she completed the first document when her concentration was shattered by his loud, booming voice. I don't like that sentence either. I have to rewrite. No sooner had she completed the first document when her concentration was shattered by his loud, booming voice. Okay, I have to figure out. I can't think of it right now, but I don't like that sentence, so we'll change it. His irate behavior toward whoever was on the phone was sure to rapidly make its way to Kat. Preparing for the blow, she inhaled deeply and exhaled slowly. An email from Trisha popped up. An email from Trisha popped up on the computer screen. It says on Kat's computer screen, but I'm gonna say on the computer screen. On the. Can you see? Kat replied to Trisha's rhetorical question, which was a welcome diversion. What? Of course I can see. That's good. You had me nervous for a moment. What are you talking about? Kat typed. And why are you emailing me? You didn't hear me when I said good morning. I was afraid you might not be able to see either. You're sick, type Kat. You're sicker. Good morning, purple lady. With the smiley face emoji. Good morning, blue lady. The Kat and Trisha are co-workers with their friends, and that's what they call each other. That's better. What's got you so distracted so early, or shall I say late this morning? Girl, if I didn't tune out sound and sight every once in a while, they would have me put in the nut house a long time ago, right in that purple padded room they've been holding for me for about 10 years now. I know, I reserved it for you at MMU on your first anniversary at JK. After 12 months of working for Sir Knight, I knew you were going to need it sooner or later. Been paying for it too, Trisha typed. She turned to face Kat. You know you have to pay me back, don't you? Oh, really? So it's Cat face Trisha. I don't know if we need that. Oh, really? Well, I can't owe you too much, seeing as the psych ward at Morgan Medical University is free. She stuck her tongue out and then answered her ringing phone. Catherine Rollins speaking. Good morning, Mrs. Rollins. This is Mr. Rollins speaking. What happened to you last night, Dre? I waited for you for over an hour. You know that dinner was formal. You promised to go, and those tickets were $50 each. You know we don't have money to waste like that. She fussed. Says fuss Cat, but we're going to change that to she fussed. My trip was delayed. There was a big accident on I-85. Do you think you can get a refund for my ticket? I'm going to change that to can you get a refund for my ticket? And she said, I can't get a refund. And we're going to take that out and change it to no. Buying those tickets was the same as making a donation. Morgan is going to use that money to renovate the Cultural Development Center. I'm sorry, booby. What can I do to make it up to you? Nothing, Dre. Nothing at all. But you should have called. By the time I got there, the room was quiet and dim. Preston was standing at the podium speaking, and people were staring at me. I was so embarrassed. I tried to call, but I couldn't get a signal on my cell phone. Besides, you know they were staring because you're beautiful. Kat smiled. Don't change the subject. I was worried about you. What time did you get home? It was sometime around 6. I didn't get into bed. I just took a shower and headed back out. I had to make it to Virginia before 10 o'clock to avoid another fine for late delivery. You woke Ayana up. Now, there's an exclamation point right there. We're going to take that out. Why didn't you wake me up? And why did you tell her that she didn't have to go to school today? I thought you were going to work. I thought you weren't going to work since you didn't set the alarm. I saw a pretty girl coming out of the bathroom and put her back to bed. I told her she could stay home with you. I overslept for 30 minutes. Ayana gave me a hard time, and the boys had a fight. They were all late for school, and I was late for work. You know Earl acts stupid when I'm late. I said I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, promised Dre. I know you. Kat's phone went dead. Earl had come out of his office, walked straight up to Kat's desk, and pressed the release button on her phone. He then proceeded to open a document he just emailed to her, printed it, and stormed back into his office, slamming the door. Dialing Dre's cell number, Kat sent Trisha an email. Why didn't he just print it from his own computer? Trisha immediately responded, because he passed Idiot 101 with the A++. After 4 rings, Dre answered his phone. What happened? I'm sorry, I disconnected our call by mistake, she lied. It says Kat lied. I'm going to change it to she lied. I'm sorry, I disconnected our call by mistake, she lied. Well, look, booby, like I said, I'm sorry, and I'm going to make it up to you. I promise. I know you will, said Kat. I know I will too. She was tickled by her husband's jovial response. Kat, I love you. I love you too. I'll see you later, okay? Okay, Dre. As soon as she hung up the phone, Earl came out of his office as if he had been waiting for his moment to interrupt. Said Kat, there, I'm going to change it to she. Kat, copy these documents for me, he ordered. I'm working on the bill that you told me to send out today. I will send this stack down to Sammy to copy. No, I want you to do it. Those guys in the service center got my last copy job all out of order. He turned to go back in his office and yelled, I'm expecting a call from Josh Hyde. Make sure you're at your desk when he calls. Kat leaned back in her chair, placed her hand over her chest, then took a deep breath. She turned to Trisha to say in a low voice, I must have done something to deserve this. Deserve what? Deserve to be a strong magnetic force for crap. Everyone has to deal with a little crap here and there, but no one should have to deal with it continuously, day in and day out for an entire lifetime. Good old Catherine, always available to assist others, but never strong enough to accommodate herself. She quickly returned to work, realizing Earl had a meeting scheduled in 15 minutes. It says realizing that, but we're going to take that out. Realizing Earl had a meeting scheduled in 15 minutes, and she wanted him to be on time. His meetings were her breaks. She needed to get the documents copied and down to the conference room before the client arrived. But at the same time, Earl, it says had asked, but we're going to change that to wanted. Earl wanted her to stay at her desk to catch Mr. Hyde's call. Turning to face Trisha once more, Kat asked, am I supposed to be in 2 places at once? Apparently so, Trisha responded. And that is the end of chapter 2, which is titled Such is Life.